Welcome back. 2 years into the pandemic and the hotel industry is still reeling. A new report says the industry will finish 2022 down more than $20 billion in business travel revenue, or a 23% reduction from 2019. The American Hotel and Lodging Association says the industry is not expected to fully recover until 2024. Joining us now to discuss, the Chief Communications Officer, Head of Investor Relations for Hotel Planner, Philip Ballard. Philip, thanks so much for coming on National Report today. There are a number of cities that are expected to be hit by this hotel revenue loss. What are you expecting?
Well, it's an interesting phenomenon what we're seeing in New York City. It's one of the most popular cities in the world, and people want to come to New York City. But I think the crime issue is causing a concern and affecting people's decision calculus as to whether they want to take their families to the city for the first time in several years. The study that just came out today from the American Hotel and Lodging Association, doesn't bode well for the city's recovery. I think, however, if Mayor Adams can get a hold of the safety and security issue through, better community policing and other efforts, I think by the end of the year, New York City could fully rebound to pre-pandemic levels. But it's going to take a lot of effort on the city's part to make it safe for visitors.
Yeah, if you're going to come and spend money, you'd like to make it out okay when you head back home unharmed. Very serious, the crime issue is indeed. But also when you think about traveling to New York City, maybe you'd like to see a Broadway show. Well, you've got to wear a face mask if you're doing so. And I know recently the judge, of course, removed mask mandates on travel. But still, if you want to take the subway in New York City, you got to wear a mask. How much did COVID policy really impact people's travel plans?
Sure, it does have a dampening effect. To level set, about 20% of all Americans opted out of the vaccine in one way, shape, or form, and those people probably don't like wearing masks either. So it's probably most of the country wants to get back to normal and doesn't want to have to wear masks anymore. So it certainly does have a dampening effect on people deciding to go to New York City. And I must say, New York City is not the only major city that's still depressed. Most of the major cities like San Francisco, Chicago, Boston, New Orleans are still down. So it's going to take some time. But I think if cities can encourage visitors by promoting the safety and security of their city, that will help. I think also there's more Europeans that want to come into the city now. So that'll also have a positive effect. But there are still some headwinds. The labor shortages are still in effect. The supply chain shortages, 40-year inflation high, are still affecting people's decisions whether to travel or not.
Yeah, and of course, it's not just the people who own the hotels who are impacted by this traveler shortage. It's also those who work at the hotels every day. Let me show you this. You mentioned European travel, because international travel, there's some sort of restrictions that have to do when you arrive back to the United States. This by the New York Post, taking a closer look at that. Speaking to the CEO of the New York City Hotel Association, saying another reason is the federal government's continued insistence of a 24-hour COVID test, despite a vaccination requirement for anyone entering the U.S., which is a big disincentive for foreign business and tourist travel. Have you noticed that COVID testing could delay some travel plans?
Sure. Like that quote said, and according to the American Travel and Hotel Lodging Association, it still is acting as a disincentive for people wanting to come here. And, in light of the Delta variant and Omicron and most people, reaching herd immunity and having that antibody effect, it seems overly burdensome. And it's something that the travel and hospitality lobby has been pushing the federal government to change for months and months now. So hopefully they'll change that. And that would be a huge shot in the arm for inbound travel to the U.S. if that policy is.
Sure, definitely. I'm always curious, too, as people are planning their summer vacations, they might be looking for hotels in the area, might also be considering some Airbnbs as well. Just generally speaking, how has that industry really impacted the hotel industry over these past 2 years?
Sure. And we offer Airbnb inventory on our platform at Hotel Planner. So it's considered alternative accommodations. So a lot of the online travel agencies are sharing that and offering that inventory. Airbnb has certainly been a new entrant, new emerging competitor to the entire, traditional hospitality market. But that's good competition. And, a lot of the hotels are offering different types of amenities for different types of travelers. For instance, there's a whole new category of traveler now called digital nomads, and these are people that want to work from wherever and spend a week in this city, a week in that city, if their employer lets them. So a lot of the hotels are offering, more business-like, office-like amenities, more printers, more, meeting space in the hotel rooms. So that's a new phenomenon. But Airbnb is doing well, and the hospitality industry will recover by the end of the year. I mean, I think that's going to be the big news for our sector by the end of the year. But the major cities are still down.
Yeah, maybe if gas prices go down a little more too, people will be more interested in driving out to these destinations. Philip Ballard joining us this morning. Thank you so much, Phil. Thanks. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.